आप ये क्लिप देखिए, उसके बाद हम वापस आते हैं।
How do we tackle Pakistan? I talked about their having the nuclear threshold, having the strategic weapon systems, missiles, strategic partnership with China. India is having a long border with China and Pakistan. How do we tackle with it? You know, we engage an enemy in three modes. One is a defensive mode. That is, you see all the chowkidars and chaprasis outside. That is, if somebody comes here, we'll prevent him. We will defend this. One is the defensive offense. That is, to defend ourselves, we will go to the place from where the offense is coming. And third is the offensive mode, where you go outright. Nuclear threshold is a difficulty in the offensive mode, but not in the defensive offense. While we are working today only in the defensive mode. Now, when we come into the defensive offense, then we start working on the vulnerabilities of Pakistan. It can be economic, it can be internal security, it can be political, it can be their isolation internationally, it can be this thing like that, of exposing their terrorist activities, or it can be anything. It can be defeating their policies in Afghanistan, making it difficult for them to manage internal political balance or internal security. I'm not going into those details. But when you change the engagement from the defensive mode, because in the defensive mode you throw 100 stones on me, I'll stop 90, still 10 hurt me, and I can never win, because either I lose or there's a stalemate. You start war at your time, you throw a stone when you want, you have a peace when you want, you have the talks when you want. We, if we are in the defensive offense, we will see where the balance of equilibrium is. Pakistan's vulnerability is many, many times higher than of India. Once they know that India has shifted its gear from the defensive mode to defensive offense, they will find that it is unaffordable for them. You can do one Mumbai, you may lose Balochistan. There is no nuclear war involved in that. There is no engagement of troops. If you know the tricks, we know the tricks better than you. You know, earlier people used to say that, well, you see, Indian intelligence isn't very good. You see, in 4 years we have got one incident. In 2008 we had November this thing. Now ISI is very good. See, where is ISI today? Yesterday they have beheaded 23 soldiers' heads and sent it to the army chief. During that time when they are having talks with Tehrik-e-Taliban in Pakistan. They cut their heads and sent it. They kidnapped 300 army contingent with 4 colonels commanding them and took them. 40,000 persons have been killed in last 2.5 years. They are totally helpless, and these are the people whom they had recruited, whom they had trained, whom they had worked with, and they are not able to find it out. It is that difficult a war. Once you understand in this perspective, then you will know what India has done in last 25 years or 30 years in battling it. We had a long border, we have a big vulnerable population, the entire strength of a government was behind the terrorists. They had the collaborative networks in among the drug peddlers, among the smugglers, among these things, you know, currency counterfeiters, everything, India's entire world, they were able to suck into their influence. And in spite of that, we have been able to contain it and deny them any strategic advantages or results. We have lost valuable human lives, but the country has grown from strength to strength. So don't underestimate India's strength. Both in our only difficulty has been that is we have been in the defensive mode. If we had changed the shift, changed the gear into at least partially getting into the defensive offensive mode, probably we could have reduced a certain amount of the casualties that we have suffered. What have they gained in Kashmir? Kashmir today is much more distant from them than it ever was from 1966. Today there is no one in Kashmir who would like to support this thing. So I said smother. For smothering, you tackle Pakistan. Don't buy their argument that in case Taliban are not stopped in, at the border of Pakistan, then probably India will be threatened. Firstly, we will not be threatened. Secondly, Pakistanis are not our well-wishers. We will tackle Taliban in a way we want. Taliban will listen to the Deobandis much more. And today the goodwill for India and Afghanistan, India is the most popular country in Afghanistan in the world today. Amongst all the countries in the world, Indians are the most respected and most liked people there in Afghanistan. We will tackle them the way we have to. We don't need Pakistan's help. Let Pakistan bleed with the Taliban problem in case they do not give terrorism as an instrument of state policy. Second thing I think I don't have much time, I was told, is about how do you distinguish terrorist organizations? How do you smother them? Deny them three things. That's what I said, the oxygen of this thing. Deny them the weapons, the funds, and the manpower. Now, funding are denied to the terrorists by countering it with the funds. More than 1.5 times of the funds available to them. So if they have got a budget of 1,200 crores, we can match it with 1,800 crores. They are all on our side. At least they won't do. They are mercenaries. You think they are the great fighters? What are they fighting for? It is only because they haven't got the job, they haven't just think somebody has misled them. So you have to only match. So go for more of a covert thing. No, they are meeting it by drug money, they are matching it by currency counterfeited money. Probably we can go for this thing. India is a bigger country and a bigger economy. We will match the money by money. We will deny them the weapons and we will deny them the recruitment. That's extremely important. So work amongst the Muslim youth. And we have to work amongst them through the Muslim organizations. And the Muslim organizations are willing, are capable, and are more keen than the others to save their children from their influence. It is only 1, 2 or 3 bad families that they may be having. Otherwise, they are now bothered at 7 o'clock where the son is going. Because he is not coming in the evening home. I hope that he is not going and sitting with some unwanted people who are moving around telling about Ahle Hadith and Wahhabism, or telling the people to recruiting for this, and they have got no job, they are not just things like that. Let us integrate them and isolate and marginalize other things. And the third, and I think this is the last point I will say about smothering them, is that do the paradigm shift in your response. Go for high technology. Prepare for intelligence-driven operations, because this war is what is going to